Susan pulled into the school parking lot 5 minutes early, though she hadn't been early to anything in weeks. She sat for a moment in her car, staring at the school in a quiet panic. A deep breath, then one more, and then she stepped out. Tote bag slung over one shoulder, guilt and hope packed in equal measure. As she walked toward the school counselor's office, her mind whirled. When your whole life moves to a new zip code, the boxes aren't the only things that need unpacking. Some things are heavier than furniture, like fear, like loneliness, like the silence of a child who's struggling but doesn't know how to say so. It was just after noon on a Tuesday when Susan found herself in the school counseling office. She sat down and placed a Diet Coke and a sleeve of saltines on the table. The counselor, Mrs. Rose, had made room during her lunchtime between two IEP meetings, a fire drill, and a student who may or may not have swallowed a button. The office was its own kind of honesty. Part calming diffuser and bean bags, part stacked with files and sticky notes hanging on for dear life. Still, it felt like the right place, a place for something to start. Susan had come to talk about her son, Charlie. Since the move, he'd been unraveling in small, spectacular ways, like getting kicked out of reading group for dramatic burping. And then there was Lily, sweet, silent Lily. She had straight A's, color-coded notebooks, and a smile that didn't quite reach her eyes. The counselor nodded knowingly. She didn't need more details. She'd seen it before. One child acts out, the other disappears into perfection. Both are asking for help, just in very different languages. Charlie was using volume, laughter, chaos, and sitting on his desk for entertainment. Lily was using control, tidy handwriting, zipped-up emotions, and polite answers to questions no one asked. Susan, like most mothers, didn't need a diagnosis. She just needed someone to put words to the swirl in her head. One child needed firmer edges. The other needed permission to fall apart. Mrs. Rose grabbed a piece of paper, and in between bites, she started sketching out a plan. Support, space, and a reminder that kids and parents aren't meant to handle everything alone. The counselor mentioned a nap, and for once, Susan didn't laugh. She just smiled, softly, because someone finally saw her too. Sometimes help doesn't arrive as a solution. Sometimes it's just being seen. A seat across from someone who listens, a name spoken kindly, a school that doesn't just care about performance, but people. Not every cry for help is loud. Sometimes it comes in perfect grades, or loud laughter, or folded paper hearts tucked inside a backpack. Sometimes it's hidden, and sometimes all it takes is one brave conversation to color outside the lines. A story about listening between the lines.